Crystal says, how do I get him to not pull away every time we see one? I'm guessing you're saying we see each other. So, Crystal, here's my suggestion is one, you figure out what you mean by pull away, right? Because are you asking, because we had a woman on here one time and she was like, oh yeah, this guy pulls away every single day, right? And I was like, pulls away every day, and she's like, yeah, in the evening he like stops talking to me and then he doesn't start talking to me again until the morning. And I'm like, you mean he like goes to bed? He like has something that he's doing in the evening and then he goes to sleep and wakes up the next day and he like starts talking to you again. Is that what you mean by pulling away, right? And so, Crystal, you want to think about what pulling away actually means, because a lot of times people think pulling away is, not talking to you for a few hours or not talking to you for a day. And a lot of people, it's actually normal. It's actually pretty normal a lot of times for people to not want to talk to somebody all the time, right? Especially if they're working, especially if they have things going on in the evening. I mean, there could be all kinds of different things, and so like pulling away, I don't know what it means to you. It could mean a whole bunch of different things, but it might just be a normal thing for him. He might think, oh, we saw each other. I need to give her some distance and some space before I start talking to her again, because he might have had experiences where he smothered women, where he went on a date with them and they talked or whatever. And then, he started messaging them and they ghosted him, right? Because he was smothering them. It could have been from a whole bunch of different things, but he linked it to him smothering them. And so now he's not doing that anymore. And so what you want to do is make sure that you're not smothering a guy, that you have clear expectations. You can actually talk to him about it, right? Find out what's normal for him. Just have a conversation with him about it and say, hey, what's normal? I noticed that, when we meet and we talk to each other, you disappear for, a few days, like, do you think that's like normal behavior for you? Do you think that's what people normally do or whatever? Right. And he'll tell you what he thinks. He'll be like, oh yeah, I just get busy with things and whatever. And then you'll know that he doesn't even think about it. Right. And if it's something that's important to you, you can always ask for it. You can set a standard for it. You can say things that let him know that you are more attracted to somebody who does what it is that you want him to do. So, I think it's really, really, I think it's really attractive when a guy, checks in on a girl that he's dating. It just, I don't know, for me, like when a guy does that, it just makes me feel so like taken care of and loved and stuff, and so what you're doing is you're just communicating things that you want him to do, and you're linking that to it being attractive to you, and then he'll start processing that and he'll decide whether he wants to do that or not. And that's the best way to do it, is just have a real conversation. I got a hair that just keeps coming down in my face. That's the best way to do it, is have a conversation with him about what he thinks and what you think, and then get on the same page with it, instead of trying to guess and thinking he's pulling away or whatever, which maybe he is, maybe he's not, maybe it's normal behavior. And you want to figure that out. That's one of the biggest kind of challenges that a lot of people have, is they'll take normal behavior and then they assume that it's malicious or that it's a problem or that whatever, right? And it could just be that you're not on the same page. It could be that you have different communication blueprints of what you want in a relationship. It could be that you're not really compatible with each other, but the only way to find that out is to have a real conversation with him about what's going on with him and what is normal, what's not normal, and what he likes and what he doesn't like, and what you like and what you don't like. Does that make sense there, Crystal? I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense to you, Crystal.